Hey guys, Shane at Gabriella Plants here. Wanted to go over some growing tips on the pink princess philodendrons. Very beautiful plants, and I know it's a high price commodity right now, but I did want to go over some tips to make sure you're getting the most out of the pink color in your pink princess. So step number one, and the thing that's most important, is they need a lot of light. They can't take direct sun, but they need to be in as bright indirect sun as you can. So a window that doesn't have a direct facing sunlight in the afternoons, normally your north and south windows will do best for that. Or if you need to move it a little bit further in, say your patio, to make sure it doesn't get direct sunlight. But again, the higher amount of light, the more pink you will see in the long term. That's really because of a really easy concept with plants, which is that they get a lot of energy from the light. So the pink part of a pink princess isn't producing a whole lot of energy for the plant. So if it's in an environment where it doesn't have the right nutrients or sunlight, it's going to start reverting to being a solid burgundy leaf, because the more burgundy color that's in them, the more energy the plant produces. But if it's in a high enough light environment, it should continue to produce pink for a while to come. Now, one other step you definitely want to do with these is before they get to any higher than about 18 inches or 24 at max, 2 feet max, you want to go ahead and trim them. And trimming them is going to be pretty simple. We'll show you how to do that. But trimming them is also going to help continue more pink in the leaf, because as the plant gets taller, the leaves grow larger. That's this type of philodendron. So the larger leaf it gets, again, the more energy it's going to need. And if it's not getting its primary amount of energy from the amount of light it's in or the fertilizer it has, it's going to start reverting, especially on those bigger leaves. In ideal growing conditions, you can get really large leaves with good pink variegation, but in most house conditions, that's simply not really realistic. So keeping them trimmed is going to keep their pink also higher, because you're going to keep that leaf size smaller. All right, now one more note about the pink princess. Now this is probably the thing you covet the most, which is an entirely pink leaf on the pink princess. But I have some bad news. Again, unless you're in the most ideal growing conditions for this plant, being a lot of light that's indirect and having the right amount of fertilizer, your soil wetness, all those types of factors, these full pink leaves generally don't survive long term. It just simply doesn't produce enough energy for the plant to survive. So if you get part of your pink princess that's going entirely pink, and you only have one plant within your pot like this, you're definitely going to want to trim beneath where the all pink starts. Now you can enjoy it for a couple days, but in the long run, you don't want the entirely pink leaf, because they will brown out. You'll begin to see browning on the edges, and they will eventually pass away just from the fact that they're not producing any energy towards the plant. So again, if you do have a full pink leaf, you definitely want to trim that back down near the bottom, where you can probably see that your variegation was more normal in the fact that it had some pink and some burgundy in it, and you definitely want to trim that out. And when you trim it, you're most likely not going to get an all pink leaf again. It'll kind of reset itself, and the new growth that'll happen about a month later should go back to being a mixture of both the burgundy color and the pink. All right, so real quick, I'm going to show you what I mean by trimming them. So if you come in a little closer here, you can see here that they will have these additional roots coming out. So once they start to get high, you know, this is probably around the max. You could probably let it get a little bit taller, but you can go ahead and wherever you see a node that does have an aerial root here, before that node, you can go ahead and trim it right there. All right, and now the great thing about this process is now you have an entirely new plant you can propagate. So some people want to propagate them in water, but here at Gabriella, we literally just stick it straight in to the dirt, pack around like so, and we'll normally apply a fertilizer. They take about 6 weeks or so to root in, but that is how you trim your pink princess. And you can do that, and what you'll eventually see is where we trim this, over the next month or so, you will see a new shoot of growth. And a lot of times that new shoot of growth from here is going to contain even more pink variegation than what was previously there.